A groom shamelessly slapped his bride in front of everyone. But what he didn't know was that her grandfather, a highly respected U.S. Army General United States, was standing right behind him. Collision, what happened next left the entire wedding speechless. Movie camera sparkles. Don't forget to thumbs up, share mobile phone with Arrow, and subscribe. IT was supposed to be the happiest day of Emily's life. The wedding venue in Virginia was packed with family, friends, and colleagues, all gathered to celebrate her marriage to James. Emily, a 28-year-old schoolteacher, had spent months planning every detail, from the flowers to the music. James, a 32-year-old financial advisor, had seemed like the perfect partner, charming, ambitious, and attentive. But as the reception unfolded, something unthinkable happened, and it changed everything. The ceremony had gone smoothly. Emily looked radiant in her white gown, her smile lighting up the room as she walked down the aisle. James stood at the altar, his eyes locked on her, nodding approvingly. Vows were exchanged, rings were placed, and the couple was pronounced husband and wife. Guests clapped, some wiping tears, others cheering. The couple kissed, and everyone moved to the reception hall for the celebration. Dinner was served, toasts were made, and the dance floor opened. Emily and James shared their first dance, swaying to a slow song as guests watched with warm smiles. But as the night went on, Emily noticed James seemed off. He was drinking more than usual, his laughter louder, his movement sharper. She brushed it off, thinking he was just caught up in excitement. After all, it was their wedding day. The trouble started during the cake cutting. Emily playfully smeared a bit of frosting on James's cheek. Giggling as she did, the crowd laughed, expecting James to play along. But his face darkened. He wiped the frosting off with a napkin, his jaw tight. "Don't do that," he muttered, loud enough for Emily to hear, but not the guests. She frowned, confused, but let it go, not wanting to make a scene. As the night continued, James's mood grew worse. He snapped at a waiter who spilled a drink, ignored Emily's attempt to pull him onto the dance floor, and kept checking his phone. Emily tried to stay upbeat, chatting with guests and thanking them for coming, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Then came the moment that changed everything. Emily was talking to her maid of honor, Sarah, near the center of the reception hall. James stormed over, his face red, his tie loosened. "Emily, we need to talk." "Now," he said, his voice sharp. Emily turned, startled. "James, what's wrong? Can it wait?" "No, it can't," he snapped. "You've been embarrassing me all night." The room started to quiet as guests noticed the tension. Emily's heart raced. "Embarrassing you? What are you talking about?" "You know exactly what I'm talking about," James said, stepping closer. "The frosting, the dancing, the way you're acting like this is all about you." Emily's eyes widened. "James, this is our wedding. I'm just trying to enjoy it." "Enjoy it," he scoffed. "You're making a fool of me in front of everyone." Sarah stepped forward. "James, maybe you should calm down." "Stay out of this," he barked, pointing at Sarah. The crowd was silent now, all eyes on the couple. Emily's voice trembled. "James, please. Let's go somewhere private and talk." "No," he said, his voice rising. "You need to hear this now. You've been disrespecting me all day, and I'm sick of it." "Disrespecting you?" Emily said, her voice breaking. "I've done nothing but try to make this day perfect for us." "Perfect." James laughed bitterly. "You're a joke, Emily. You think you're so special, don't you?" The words hit Emily like a punch. Tears welled in her eyes, but she stood her ground. "James, stop it. You're drunk." That's when it happened. James's hand shot out, and he slapped Emily across the face. The sound echoed in the silent room. Emily stumbled back, her hand on her cheek, shock and pain written across her face. Gasps filled the air. Sarah screamed, "What the hell, James?" Emily's grandfather, General Robert Thornton, a retired U.S. Army general, had been standing just a few feet behind James, talking to a group of old military friends. At 72, he was still an imposing figure, tall, broad-shouldered, with a presence that commanded respect. He'd been watching the exchange, his expression hardening with every word James spoke. When James slapped Emily, General Thornton's eyes blazed with fury. He stepped forward, his voice low but lethal. "Son, you just made the biggest mistake of your life." James spun around, his face still twisted with anger. He didn't recognize the general at first. "Who the hell are you?" he snapped. "I'm the man who's going to teach you some manners," General Thornton said, his voice steady but dripping with menace. James laughed, oblivious to the danger. "Oh, please, what's some old man going to do?" The general's friends, all former military men, closing behind him, their faces grim. The room was frozen, every guest watching the scene unfold. Emily, still holding her cheek, whispered, "Grandpa, don't." But General Thornton wasn't listening. He stepped closer to James, towering over him. "You think you can lay a hand on my granddaughter and walk away? You're about to learn what happens when you cross a Thornton." James smirked, trying to play tough. "Go ahead, old man. Try something. I'll sue you for everything you've got." The general's jaw clenched. "You're not just a coward, you're a fool. You don't even know who you're talking to." "Oh, enlighten me," James said, crossing his arms. "Who are you, huh? Some nobody who thinks he's important." One of the general's friends, a burly man named Colonel Harris, spoke up. "That's General Robert Thornton, U.S. Army, retired. Served 3 tours, led men in combat, and doesn't take kindly to punks like you." James's smirk faltered, but he doubled down. "Big deal. You're still just an old guy with a loud mouth." The general's voice dropped to a growl. "You've got 10 seconds to apologize to Emily and get out of my sight, or I'll make sure you regret it." James laughed again, but it was nervous now. Apologize? For what? She deserved it. That was the wrong thing to say. The general's hand shot out, grabbing James by the collar. He yanked him forward, their faces inches apart. "Say that again," he said, his voice deadly calm. "Go on. Say she deserved it." James's bravado crumbled. He stammered, "I didn't mean—" "You meant every word," the general said. "And you meant that, Slap, but you're not man enough to own it, are you?" Emily stepped forward, tears streaming down her face. "Grandpa, stop. He's not worth it." The general didn't look at her. His eyes were locked on James. "This isn't about worth, Emily. This is about respect. He disrespected you, and he disrespected this family." James tried to pull away, but the general's grip was iron. "Let go of me," he shouted. "You can't do this." "I can do whatever I damn well please," the general said. "You think you're tough because you hit a woman? Let's see how tough you are now." Colonel Harris stepped closer. "General, want me to handle this?" "No," the general said. "This one's mine." Emily's mother, Linda, rushed forward, her voice shaking. "Dad, please, don't make this worse." The general glanced at her, his expression softening slightly. "Linda, this boy needs to learn a lesson. He doesn't get to walk away from this." James was sweating now, his eyes darting around the room. The guests were still silent, some whispering, others filming on their phones. He tried to laugh it off. "This is ridiculous. You're all crazy. I'm leaving." "You're not going anywhere," the general said. He released James's collar, but before James could move, the general's fist connected with his jaw. The punch was quick, precise, and powerful. James stumbled back, crashing into a table. Plates and glasses shattered on the floor. The room erupted. Some guests cheered, others gasped. Sarah ran to Emily, pulling her into a hug. "Oh my God, are you okay?" Emily was shaking, her eyes fixed on James, who was sprawled on the floor, clutching his face. "I don't know," she whispered. James groaned, trying to get up. "You're done, old man. I'm pressing charges." The general stood over him, unfazed. "Go ahead, press charges. But you'll have to explain why you slapped your bride in front of 200 witnesses. Good luck with that." Colonel Harris and another friend grabbed James by the arms, pulling him to his feet. "Time to go, kid," Harris said. "You've caused enough trouble." "Let me go," James shouted, struggling. "This is assault. I'll have you all arrested." "Shut up," Harris said, tightening his grip. "You're lucky the general didn't break your jaw." As they dragged James toward the exit, Emily's father, Tom, stepped forward. He'd been quiet until now, but his face was red with anger. "You piece of trash," he said to James. "You ever come near my daughter again, and you'll wish you were never born." James spat on the floor. "Screw all of you. Emily, you're nothing without me. You'll regret this." Emily's voice was quiet but firm. "The only thing I regret is marrying you." The crowd murmured in approval. Sarah squeezed Emily's hand. "That's my girl," she whispered. The general turned to Emily, his expression softening. "You okay, sweetheart?" Emily nodded, though her hands were trembling. "I think so. I can't believe this happened." The general pulled her into a hug. "You're stronger than you know, Emily, and you're not alone. We've got you." Linda wrapped her arms around both of them, tears in her eyes. "I'm so sorry, honey. I had no idea he was like this." "None of us did," Tom said, joining them. "But he's gone now, and he's not coming back." As James was dragged out of the venue, the guests started talking again, their voices a mix of shock, anger, and support for Emily. Some approached her, offering hugs and words of encouragement. Others glared at the door, where James had disappeared. Sarah stayed by Emily's side, her voice fierce. "You're going to be okay, Em. You're better off without that jerk." Emily managed a small smile. "I know. It just hurts." "Of course it does," Sarah said. "But you've got us. And you got General Thornton, who just knocked that idiot flat." Emily laughed through her tears. "Yeah, Grandpa doesn't mess around." The general overheard and chuckled. "Damn right I don't. Nobody messes with my family." The reception didn't continue as planned. The DJ stopped the music, and guests started to leave, many stopping to check on Emily before they went. The venue staff cleaned up the broken table, and Emily's family gathered around her, forming a protective circle. Tom spoke up, his voice steady. "Emily, whatever you need, legal help, a place to stay, anything, we're here." "Thanks, Dad," Emily said. I think I just need some time." "Take all the time you need," Linda said. "You're not going through this alone." The general sat down beside Emily, his voice gentle but firm. "Listen to me, Emily. What happened today wasn't your fault. That boy showed his true colors, and you're better off knowing now. You're a Thornton. You're tough, and you'll come out of this stronger." Emily nodded, wiping her eyes. "I just feel so stupid. How did I not see this coming?" "You're not stupid," the general said. "You trusted him. That's what good people do. He's the one who betrayed that trust." Sarah chimed in. "And he's going to regret it. You got a whole army behind you now, literally." Emily laughed again, and for the first time since the slap, she felt a spark of hope. "Yeah, I guess I do." As the night wound down, Emily and her family left the venue together. The general walked beside her, his arm around her shoulders. "You're going to be fine, kiddo," he said. "And if that punk ever shows his face again, he'll answer to me." Emily smiled. "I know, Grandpa. Thank you." The next few days were a whirlwind. Emily filed for an annulment, supported by statements from dozens of guests who'd witnessed James's behavior. Her family rallied around her, and Sarah helped her move her things out of the apartment she'd shared with James. The general made a few calls, ensuring James faced consequences beyond the punch. His reputation in their small community was ruined. Emily started therapy, working through the pain and betrayal. She threw herself into her teaching, finding comfort in her students' smiles. Slowly, she began to heal, surrounded by love and support. One evening, a few weeks later, Emily sat with her grandfather on his porch, sipping coffee. "Grandpa," she said, "I don't know how to thank you for what you did." The general waved her off. "No need to thank me. You're my granddaughter. I'd do it again in a heartbeat." Emily smiled. "I know you would, but I'm glad you didn't have to." He chuckled. "Me too. But let's just say I'm keeping my fists ready, just in case." They laughed, the sound carrying into the night. Emily knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but with her family and her fierce grandfather by her side, she was ready to face it.